Given the possibility that someone can be theoretical expert, someone can be technical expert, or someone can be field expert, and even in respective zones there are different levels of expertise, then how to identify the expert for a particular research area and what are the factors affecting that identification?
It's extremely important to ensure, given the field of inquiry and the research objectives and the questions that the researcher has, that she does not miss on any important component from the point of view of a comprehensive understanding, comprehension of the subject matter, right? And that would then decide, again, let me emphasize, it is a function of resources, it is a function of time, etc. These things certainly enter into any research project. So given that, we have to ask, what is the time duration, how much resources can we assign to this particular research, etc. Having said that, then how do you find a good balance between those who provide very important academic inputs based on abstraction and inputs based on very powerful, very careful and very, very comprehensive engagement with the academic material which is there, right? And then we look at different stages in that applied work. Again, we can go by the example which we discussed earlier, your value system and so on. So it becomes very, very important for us to think of the different stages and the different actors connected with those stages. So agri-businesses, which are very important, right? Now, there is a great deal of, let's say, lack of transparency as regards how these agri-businesses operate. Right? Lot of information which is in public domain tends to be very, very opaque. How do we make sense of this huge amount of information available, but very opaque information, right? Where things do not even connect properly with each other. You will encounter these challenges as you did in your own work and so on, right? So that's one stage. Now there are different kinds of power balances which determine at which particular stage you might get straight information, adequate information, inadequate information, overdose of information but not quite valuable information. So you have to sift through a lot of these challenges. So again, thinking in terms of, let's say, different stages of it, starting with those who are at the bottom of the pyramid in terms of this particular inquiry that we talked about, right? You might find things may be relatively easy when you are trying to seek information at that bottom of the pyramid. But even there, when you think of how to choose your respondents, lot of very careful considerations have to enter that process of inquiry and engagement, right? So let's say you're looking at a village and farmers, workers, etc., who are part of this value chain, right? There again, there is a hierarchy in terms of information flows and their very specific kinds of engagements which may not flow as easily to the next layers, the higher layers and so on. Right? It may well be the case that it's a very differentiated group and each group may need to be engaged with for particular and valuable bits of information. Right? So once you get into the details of it, again, depending on how much time, how much resources and so on, one is able to allocate towards a reasonable inquiry. One has to then make sure that it becomes as representative in terms of different nodes that play an important role in that overall, from academic to the first stage or the last stage, whatever you want to call it, right? I mean, depending on sort of what are you prioritizing in terms of the research questions itself, that again will determine what are the kind of challenges that we are engaging with. So, in short, the different nodes should certainly become part of the inquiry, the conversation, etc. Right? Each one of these is a node of expertise in its own right. Some of it becomes part of what you would consider lowest common denominator. But each node has its particularities. Right? And the task of the researcher, the challenge to the researcher is to be able to make, again the expression which I used earlier, a fine balance between different components, different stages, different nodes.
In our conversation, we have noted that the expert interview is possible at different stages of research, and all such interviews would require some background work. So in general, what should be the preparation before any expert interview?
It is indeed very important to embark on the project with a reasonable understanding of the field as a whole. Right? So, as we discussed, there are different nodes and expertise at different stages of research which require careful engagement and so on. But you can't, and it would be a contradiction in a sense if you claim that there is a very comprehensive kind of background preparation that has already happened. If that has happened, then there would be no research. Right? So, the important point is that an overall comprehension of the field of inquiry with very, very clear, open-ended kind of possibilities which would feed into what the theme of research is, which could, having started with some very basic broad cut, can take the researcher into very different directions. Right? And that is what the research project very fundamentally is, that creative openness. Right? It should not be tied to some kind of positivist frame at all. Right? Some questions which are central to positivism, Karl Popper's way of thinking about research in general, which is entirely wedded to the issues of falsifiability and verifiability. Right? Now, these have their place, but that is certainly not the end or even the beginning of a good research. Right? It needs to be incorporated, but a researcher has to get into and remain in a frame of open-ended creativity in terms of thinking about the paradigm itself as being quite open to questions which might surprise you, issues which might surprise you, and they are sprung at you as you go along. So in short, the researcher starts with a kind of a broad canvas. That canvas is not completely colored to begin with. If it was indeed completely colored, then what was the point of research at all? If it was completely filled, then there is nothing to explore, nothing to find. Right? So that has to be the method and spirit of research. Yeah. So as you go along, you think of experts at different junctures, work with the experts, explore what needs to be inquired into, investigated about with respect to the research questions. So one has to keep doing this back and forth. What have I got? What more is needed?